understand.
That's great. That's awesome.
We added the share screen instructions and Grace Spitzer's Zoom feature tutorials to the multimedia portion of the Camera Club website. It's down at the bottom of the page on educational resources. They're PDFs. You might be able to print from that without any issues.
Okay.
Might also ask.
And Brian and
Check it
Susan,
out.
thank you for doing that. It
Does
is
anybody have
appreciated.
a recommendation for a decent camera? As you can see, ours is
Fine.
having some sort of a fit. I mean, it's only 10 years old or so, so.
I just went to Amazon because the one on my laptop was absolutely terrible. So I went to Amazon and I bought this $34 one, figuring, well, if it's not any good, I'll send it back. And it turned out to be great.
What's the brand?
What's the brand?
I don't know. I'm going to have to find out for you. Wait.
Brian, Logitech makes a very good line of cameras. Depending on your price point, they have several models that I think one of them may suit.
Yeah. And there's some very reasonably priced ones. The new ones are 1080 dots per inch.
I'm talking about the cameras.
I don't use the microphone on it because the best mic I have is on a headset, so I don't use that.
Yeah, the one we have it's the old Microsoft LifeCam,
Oh yeah,
and it's a 720p.
Yeah, that light was pretty bright.
Let's turn one overhead.
Lynn, your mic is on. Okay.
yeah, she's ready. This is really neat.
Here.
So it's about one more minute. We'll wait for a few more people to see if anyone else is coming on.
Yeah, Grace is not going to be here today. She had another appointment.
Okay.
I won't be around next week. My wife is having some surgery, so on Monday, so I'll take care of that.
Okay. Does the weekly thing with the link on it, the weekly email, does that go out automatically, or are you?
Go out automatically, and I don't know why it didn't. I will contact Phil. Maybe he had it set up for X number of weeks and we ran out of weeks. I don't know. But yeah, it does it automatically.
Okay, so I don't need to worry about that.
No. And I don't think it did it today. I'm not sure. Or yesterday.
So I've been using that.
Kevin, I had a question for you. Why did you go to the C200?
C300?
Oh, it's a 3?
It's the 300 Mark II.
Oh, okay. So what was your reason for moving to that?
Long story short, clients have not asked for it in the past, and I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on a new camera, obviously. And at some point, I started to see where people were like, we'd like to see just a little bit more out of you. And so I just said, okay, let's go ahead and bite the bullet and buy the camera, and away you go. So anyway, it's a very nice camera, and I'm actually leaving today for a shoot after we're done up in Nevada. So I'll get to use it some more this week.
Right.
So that'll be fun. So anyway, I still have my C100 Mark IIs, and I'll just keep those as, for second cameras or whatever. So that'll be fine.
Because everybody needs a second camera.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Or 4.
if you're doing stuff for clients,
Yeah.
you have to have backups on stuff. It's amazing how if you're on a shoot, especially like just as a quick story, as a still camera, let's say, and you're shooting and there's some issue with the camera, well, you don't have time to screw around to figure out what's going on. So you just go to the bag, you pick out your backup camera, you pop the lens on, and you keep going. So I think that's a huge thing that makes life a lot easier. And it also shows the client that you are professional, that you're prepared, that you do have the gear that you need to get the job done. So,
Back in the old days, that's why I had 2 Hasselblads, you know. Today, I couldn't even think about that, but when somebody else is paying the bills, it's,
But even for still cameras, a lot of times I'll carry 2 cameras with 2 different lenses, so I don't have to switch lenses. I mean, I'm just out having fun, but to have to switch lenses and you're out and blowing dirt, you know. So I'll carry 2 cameras just for still pictures.
well, I would definitely agree with that, Ron. It definitely helps. I think as we get older, sometimes though, carrying more toys and goodies, you start to minimize things a little bit. So, not going to kill your back or your body.
Yeah.
Sometimes our backup camera, particularly if we're having to walk any kind of distance, we just use GoPros.
Yep.
They do a decent job at video.
Sure.
while we're on the subject, I noticed on my side notes that Holly just nailed down a videographer that I recommended for a speaker series. And I'm going to guess it's going to be March's speaker series. On my tongue is that. But she owns a video production company in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And she's perfectly willing to spend an hour with us. So that should be interesting.
Good. I haven't heard from her yet, Jean, but looking forward to it.
I thought I had a note came through. She said yes.
Didn't come to me.
Oh, well, I will find it and make sure it gets forwarded to you.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad to have her for sure. She sounded
Yeah,
really
she
good.
said, yeah, I will find it.
Yeah, we have Dana Grayson coming up Thursday. That should be really good too.
Yeah, he's an interesting fella.
Yeah.
Do we have anybody with videos that they want to share today?
Not me.
I might try again.
Oh, good.
Carolyn, Peg, okay.
It's either that or move in with Kevin.
We got room for you, Peg. Come on over.
Do we want to do some announcements first? It sounds like Holly, you had something to.
Well, just a reminder that speaker series is this week. It's Thursday at 1:30 Arizona time, and it's Daniel Grayson, who has the ponds at Elephant Head. So he's a wildlife photographer. He spends a lot of time in the jungles in South America, I believe. But he recently had a fire at his pond site, and that site he uses for wildlife photography. Also, he welcomes visitors, and I have sent him an email to see if he would give the camera club like a group rate for a field trip there, which would be really nice. Otherwise, it's $100 a person a day. So that's a lot for people to just do a field trip, I think.
There was a group of us from the camera club that went and rented his place to shoot birds and stuff. He gets a lot of birders. In fact, he's booked for months in advance during the winter season because people come from all over to this part of the country anyway for birding, and he rents out. And so it's really an interesting place.
Yeah, now that he had the fire, did all that burn down, Ron?
I don't know because the pond is out away from his house. So I imagine the pond was fine, but his buildings were what he lost.
Okay.
Jean, do you have any announcements?
I'm so thrilled you're doing this. I'm just sitting here with a smile from ear to ear.
Well, I think Brian and Susan have an announcement about tomorrow.
Oh.
Moment of panic there, would you?
Our camera's bad?
Yeah, our camera's bad. Is anybody in the group going to sit in on the session tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
I am.
Okay.
We're doing something.
Then Sherry, would you function as our
Host?
not
No,
not
a
host,
moderator?
our emergency alarm. Well, you're our designated, hey, your video's not working, or we can't hear you.
Okay.
We'll be listening for you instead of, 67 people popping up saying, we can't hear you.
Okay.
And I will come and turn YouTube on for you.
Okay, great. The outline for the class, we fleshed it out quite a bit. And we've decided
This
after
morning.
going through it last night at length and talking about it this morning, that we're not going to sit there and read them the outline. There's a lot of material there, and it's just, if there's one thing that we hate, it's sitting in a class and having somebody read something that we've got in front of us to us. So we'll run it a little more loosely than the outline might suggest. We'll take them around our website on the Camera Club's website and show them what stuff is there and available, and maybe point them in directions. We'll play some clips for them, some videos for them, give them some ideas, and handle a lot of questions, we hope.
I'm sorry to be dumb, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
The big winter.
It's Gene's annual big camera course,
10-week.
the
Oh.
10-week course.
Okay.
The fifth session, which is tomorrow, the title of the session is Multimedia.
Oh,
And he tagged us to do it, so we're gonna take off and do it.
I gave you a glorious write-up.
But if you're interested, going to the Multimedia SIG educational resources on the website, you can find the student outline, which is in both PDF and ODT versions for those that like a choice. And a couple other things on there. That huge fat multimedia definitions file is on there. Shot composition, a one-page thing. I'm going to keep adding stuff like that to the website as we find it. So if you've got something that you think would be good to put on the website, well, send it to us and we'll stick it on. And if you absolutely, Sherry, run out of stuff to play today, we have a redone video that we could show.
Awesome.
Just so that everybody knows, I'm in the process of getting that digital photo SIG back on live. We have somebody who will moderate it, and I'm working on the details, but within the next couple of weeks, we should be able to do that again.
Cool. So I thought before we started the videos that maybe, Kevin, would you go over your PDF with us?
I don't have it up on my screen. Oh gosh, do you have it? Can you just go over it quickly?
Okay. I do have it. Let's see.
If
So I
can
want
find
to
it.
I want to do share screen.
Yep.
I have it on my desktop, so. And I want to do share sound, optimize. We'll see if I can follow instructions.
There you go.
All right,
PDF.
it worked.
And here it is. Okay, and let me go to full screen with it. Move out of the way. Okay. Instructions. Can you guys all see it okay?
Yes.
Yes, but it's pixelated.
it's blurry.
It's not pixelated on mine.
Well,
Oh, well.
There it is. It's okay now.
Yeah, it came up clear now.
Okay, great. All right. Instructions for sharing Zoom. So first, start your video open on the desktop of your computer. Then click on the green share screen button at the bottom of the Zoom window. Third, a white box will appear to share your screen with the class. You'll see a blue box around the image of your desktop. Click on the image of your video, and a blue box will appear around your video as seen on the next page. Oh, I see. So here's the video. So now it goes around that. If the blue box is highlighted, you're ready for the next step. On the bottom corner, you'll see these two boxes, share sound and optimize for video clip. Okay, yes, I clicked on both of those. Then, oh, I see. All right, well, we're clicking on them now. And then we'll share. And then here we are. If you've done everything correctly, a green box will appear around your video and your video is ready to be played. Press the play button on your video player and the video will be shared with the class. When you're done playing, press the red stop share button at the top of the screen and you will be returned to class. Yay.
Good job.
Stop share. Okay. I was not aware of the little boxes, you know, and the colors and stuff around it. That was really fun. The detail. Thank you, Kevin.
Well, you're welcome. Well, like I said, I'm an idiot, so I try to make things as idiot-proof as possible.
So
Were those instructions applicable on a PC as well as a Mac computer?
They're identical.
No,
They looked exactly the same.
Okay.
Any other
Were
questions?
those forwarded to us somehow?
It was sent as an attachment in an email after the last week's class, and we'll resend it again this week.
Okay.
You don't need to go to the Camera Club website, multimedia section, and it's there. It's on the
Yep.
educational resource page.
Okay.
Anything
If
else?
you're not getting, for some reason, if you didn't get the emails from the Multimedia SIG, go back to the club site and register in the SIG. You may have forgotten to do that because those emails that I send out, that we've been sending out, go automatically through the registration at Wild Apricot. So if for some reason you didn't actually register for Multimedia SIG, then you're not getting the emails.
Okay. So I thought maybe we could start with Peg to
I can
see
follow all those directions.
if these instructions were helpful.
Well, I'll tell you my problem. Well, I've got lots of problems, but this one, when I go to the desktop, I start my video, I can't seem to get back into Zoom. So what I've done now is I'll try it and see if it'll work, if you want to try it. It may be, I'm sure it's me, it's certainly not the computer, it's not Kevin. But as I said, we can always move in with Kevin. Okay.
Peg, there's a little Zoom icon somewhere on your taskbar. And if you get out of it, if you click that icon on, you'll come back.
I can't find it on there. I know what you mean, Eugene, but okay, let's try this. Let me know if you get it.
Yes, well, it's gray right now, but it said it was sharing screen.
Yeah, now you got to get the play.
What? Are you getting it?
No, we're just seeing a gray screen right now.
Okay, I'll show you what happens. Let me show you. Okay, I go to.
She didn't have her movie playing. She clicked on it to play it after she shared the screen.
Yeah,
It should still play.
Don't you have to start the movie first, stop it, and then share the
Yes.
screen and play it?
Start the movie and then pause it.
okay. I'll try that. I'll practice. The thing is, I cannot get those icons on the bottom to show up. Once
Okay.
I start the video, it takes up the whole screen.
Yeah.
And if I go to minimize it, then it's up in a little corner and nobody will be able to see it. It's okay. I'll keep working on it.
I'll come over and help, Peg.
Oh, the trouble is we can't have any visitors, but I'll sneak you in.
This gets better and better. Hey, Pat, I see your name up in the corner. When this is all over with, stay online to talk to me for a couple minutes.
Sure.
Okay,
I always thought I was fairly illiterate on this, but I began to think this has got me, well, it wasn't that good of a video anyway.
Don't say that.
Oh, no.
It was only on our vaccination and when we got shot, but other than that, I was just practicing it. I send it out to my relatives and they find it's very interesting, but I can't seem to get it on Zoom. And I know what the problem is. I can't find those icons once I have the video full screen. Got it, Gene?
Yeah, are you working on a Mac or a PC?
PC.
Okay.
A very old PC. 10
That's
years.
all right. I'll figure it out for you.
Thank you. Sorry, Jane.
thank you for trying, Peg. I do want to see your video.
Maybe you can come with Kevin.
So Kevin, then you've got one to show us?
I do. And it's a quick little, about a 1.5-minute video. This is a public service announcement, in a sense, for a new organization that's starting out of Sierra Vista. It's a 503c nonprofit, and it's also a nonpartisan organization. It's called Keepers of Liberty, and the Reader's Digest version is the organization is going to hire veterans to help train and teach, I should say teach, civics to students and also to adults that want to learn about civics. One of the interesting things that I found out before we shot this was that in Arizona, there is a Constitution Day in the schools where the kids are supposed to learn about civics. And apparently a lot of these schools do not have any sort of programs for civics, and they don't teach it. So it's something that's desperately needed. Now, here's the beauty of this video. The organization is brand spanking new. And literally the day before we shot this, they moved into their offices in Sierra Vista. So there's nothing on the walls. There's barely any furniture. And so what we had to do is, you'll see there's some video stock video that I've used to help kind of tell the story a little bit, along with the guy who's doing the narration. So anyway, that's the Reader's Digest version of this. So let's give this a try.
Keepers of Liberty is a 501c3 nonprofit. We hire veterans to engage the community and teach civics, because there is no better person to execute the mission of saving America than the American veteran. We will have programs that range from an hour up to multiple week courses that can be taken by members of our community to educate them on American civics. We have an aggressive plan to hire veterans to go out and interact and engage with our community, so that way we can spread the message of what it means to be an American citizen utilizing the American veteran. Within 1 year, we want to be established in Cochise County, working and engaging the community in Southern Arizona. Within 3 years, we want to move our mission statewide, and then within 5 years, start to move to neighboring states and across the country. We can do this with your help. We have a very important mission that we believe in wholeheartedly to engage the community in civic education, because we have to save this country for our children and grandchildren. We are excited to have our headquarters here in Sierra Vista, Arizona, We have a very large pool of veterans right here in our community to engage in the mission of teaching civics. But we also have over 200,000 veterans statewide in Arizona. We want to get out and engage with every one of you possible and collaborate on how we save our state and our country. We love hearing from everyone that makes this mission a success. So please follow us on our social media and keep up with our website. We love the engagement. We have a great response here in the community and we're getting buy-in every day. So continue to follow us and be engaged because we are going to improve our community together and make Sierra Vista, Cochise County, and Arizona a better place to live.
Okay, there you go.
Good.
That was awesome.
Well, thank you.
The music was perfect.
Technical question. Did you use a teleprompter with that guy?
No, he did everything
Wow.
off the cuff, and I love working with people like that because you just really, you just turn on the camera and let them go. So yeah, no teleprompter.
Good job.
It's hard to find people that can do it off the top of their head like that.
How many takes? I'm just curious.
You know, really, it wasn't that he did some different variations of the message. And
Yeah.
so I would say out of the box, the very first one, he kind of stumbled just a little bit. He stopped and then he reloaded. We did it again. And then I'd say after the second or third take max, he was really good. And then at that point, he wanted to just do some variations of it. So anyway, it's nice working with people like that. It really makes you look good as the person producing the video.
Yeah. What was your mic setup?
I use a shotgun mic, and basically just right out of frame above his head is the microphone. So you never see it in the shot. And so literally that mic is 6 inches from the top of his head max. I mean, literally when I frame up the shot, I have somebody, like I have them drop the mic into the shot. So this would be the microphone. And then I just have them raise it up. And as soon as it's out of the shot, that's it. And you get really nice sound that way.
Yeah, he came across well. Good luck with them keeping that nonpartisan.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's been the stated goal of the organization.
As a veteran, I applaud what they're trying to do. I just think that they're really going to have a tough wire to walk. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And I didn't know
your video is a good start for them.
I had no idea that Arizona didn't have a mandatory civics class in high school. Like in the Michigan schools, well, they call it senior civics. In the 12th grade, everybody takes a civics class.
Yeah, I was shocked to find out that. I mean, they do have like they said, they have a Constitution Day, but so many of these schools just do not have the programs to teach the kids, and that's really a shame.
Yeah.
The other good thing too is we will revisit when they start to actually teach some of these classes and do some of these things. And so that stock video that you saw that I was using, we can go ahead and try to incorporate some actual people that are doing some of this teaching and stuff. So that should be fun to update the video.
Back to some of the technical stuff on it, Kevin. You used a single camera?
Yeah, one camera. And the other interesting thing, if I can share the screen again real quick, I'll show you. Because there was literally nothing in the office, I ended up using the blinds behind him out of focus just to make it some sort of a background. So really, anytime you're out shooting something like that, you're always looking for some way to be able to find something interesting. And certainly in this case, since they were fresh in that office, Larry, it was like, okay, what do we use? Okay, let's just use the blinds and we'll blow it out of focus and make it interesting. So that's what we did.
Just a suggestion, if you get a second camera, you can use it for cutaways, and when you got a blip, you can reshoot part of it, and it's obviously a different angle. So
Sure.
it's no problem.
Oh, sure. Yeah, and this was a quick shoot. We knew that this would just get it started video. We weren't going to spend an insane amount of time. So anyway, for what we were doing this time around, I think it worked out just fine doing a single camera, but we could definitely do, and I've done multiple cameras before, and it is a nice look. Any other questions?
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Kevin.
We would toss in on this that nonprofits are a good source of material, and they're usually pretty happy to get pro bono work, and it's a good place to practice your skills and your editing, everything that goes into making a video.
I would agree with that, Brian. It is absolutely great. The other thing that's really nice about it is if you're doing work for a client, you're on the clock and it costs money. And so they're not going to necessarily allow you to screw around and try a bunch of different stuff. As you said, with a nonprofit, they're happy. Free is a great price. So if you come in and you say, hey, I want to do, like Larry said, I want to do 2 or 3 cameras and let's do this and let's do that, they're all for it. And then you can also take the time later on in editing to play a little bit more and do some more things and try some different things. So I would agree. I think that's something that I've talked with Gene about just a little bit was, let's find some Green Valley charities here that would love to have us as a group come in and do their story, shoot some interviews with the people that are running the organizations, and then go out and shoot some action B-roll stuff of what the organization is doing. I think we could have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, only COVID's been holding us
Yeah.
off on getting something going,
That's
the
true.
Green Valley Animal League was interested, but nobody's doing anything right at this point. Hopefully soon.
Sounds good.
I did one, a short one in Michigan for a local a historical museum, and I took my teenage granddaughters along, and I let them run a couple of the cameras and play with the equipment and quote unquote assist me, and it worked out really, really well. I could see everybody at the museum group just smiling and getting into it. So there's a lot of potential for that, and they love free. You're correct. In fact, this summer they've contacted me. They're giving ghost tours at the museum, and I'm going to do some video for them. So that should be interesting.
Do you have your ghost lens on?
Yeah, I told them, paranormal photography. I got a degree in BS, Kevin. I ought to be able to use it.
You do it quite well.
Thank you.
Don't you have to film in infrared to see the ghosts?
Yeah, or a green screen. No, I have to think that one out a little bit, Ron. As it gets crazy. All right.
Okay, so Brian and Susan, you have a video for us?
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Yes, our ongoing campaign to transition from Adobe Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve. We took one of our videos that we really liked and redid the whole thing. Just recreated the entire thing in DaVinci Resolve as a learning exercise. In the course of that, we changed a fair amount of it. We thought it needed changing. So yeah, it's Point Sublime again, but it looks a little different. And like I said, it's DaVinci Resolve. Ready? Really recommend you kill your video feed because it'll need the bandwidth.
Jeez, they're all over it.
Share screen, where are we?
That's it.
Okay.
You want to kill our feed? Or do we have to leave? I guess we have to leave it on.
It is a rare person who has never seen a photograph of Grand Canyon or visited there in person.
Much better.
The view most of us have seen is probably this one from the South Rim's Grand Canyon Village, located here. Far fewer people visit the North Rim of the canyon, accessed via the Grand Canyon Highway from Jacob Lake on US Highway 89A. This world-famous scenic byway runs south from Jacob Lake for 43 miles through the subalpine forests of the Kaibab Plateau. An unique feature of this drive is the montane grasslands it passes through. The largest of these is known as DeMott Park, home to the Kaibab herd of American bison.
Damn, I sound good. Thank you.
At the southern end of the highway and overlooking Bright Angel Canyon is the magnificent North Rim Lodge. More than 1,000 feet higher than the South Rim, it offers a much different view of Grand Canyon. You can even see the San Francisco peaks in the distance over 60 miles away. But if you want a view of the canyon that very few people ever see, you'll have to take a road far less traveled to one of the most remote places in the park that is accessible by automobile. It will take 26 miles of travel on remote dirt roads to reach the aptly named Point Sublime.
Looks good.
This journey begins when you leave the paved Grand Canyon Highway, turning off onto Forest Service roads, which for the most part are fairly well groomed, if a little dusty. This is all part of Kaibab National Forest, a popular summer camping area. Even so, on our August trip, we saw very few people on this road. We saw no one at all once we crossed into the national park. Even on Google Earth, the roads are not clearly marked, and you'll need good route finding skills and a decent map or an actual GPS from this point on. Your cell phone map is useless here. A small sign and a threadbare fence with an open gate is all that marks the change from National Forest to National Park, along with a smaller and rougher road that is somewhat overgrown in places. Camping is very limited. Overnight stays in the backcountry require a permit and is restricted to a handful of places. So wildlife in the park was largely unconcerned by our presence. One exception was a solitary and very shy bison that we only glimpsed through the trees as he moved quickly away from the road.
I never did see. Still can't see.
Closer to the canyon, the road improved and we began to pick up speed.
Ironically, the road looks really nice. They only knew.
It would take us just over 4 hours to cover those 26 miles to our destination. Was it worth it? Oh, yeah.
Someday, I'll go back. San Francisco peaks again.
those are zoomed in a more subtle way than most people.
It's almost unnoticeable, and that's what it needs to be. I still love that shot. You took out the wink at the end, though. So when you're doing a share screen, is this the only screen they see?
There it is.
Bring it up, bring it up. Stop sharing. Who the heck did wrong?
Very nice.
Ooh, geez.
I've got a quick question for you, Brian. It sounded like your sound was being recorded off of the, not directly. Did you share your sound on that box when it says to share screen? Because it sounded like, well, A, we could hear you talking a little bit, and B, your sound was very echoey, and I love everything else was absolutely outstanding. Could you share it again and just play just a little bit of it so we could hear the narration? Because Susan's narration was great.
Let me,
Try it one more time.
we did not click those two stinking boxes, and that's the second time that I've done that.
I've done it
error.
every time.
Could you do just
There
a
we
little
go.
bit again for us, especially when you got to the like halfway through or whatever? That'd be great.
Which portion? Still on
Oh,
the
just-
road or
or
after
just-
we got to the point?
Oh, when you get to the point, it'd be interesting to hear the music and the narration.
Okay, we'll do some of the narration part.
That's embarrassing.
Let's see.
The view most of us have seen is probably this one.
That's the ticket.
South Rim's Grand Canyon Village, located here. Far fewer people visit the north rim of the canyon, accessed via the Grand Canyon Highway from Jacob Lake on US Highway 89A. This world-famous scenic byway runs south from Jacob Lake for 43 miles through the subalpine forests of the Kaibab Plateau.
Okay.
An unique feature of this drive is the montane grasslands it passes.
They can't come in for time.
Beautiful.
That was very nice.
Oh,
Okay.
Turn on sound.
Good. Yes. Well, we will make a note of that. Turn on, check the stinking boxes.
So much better. Both the sound and the video was smoother.
Yes.
yes.
How embarrassing.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Brian. I like the narration that you and your wife were providing. Like, we should have cut that a little sooner.
Some things
Yeah.
are never finished.
Well,
That
but-
really added to it.
What's going on is we've got this working now. In fact, we're using this now for our audio. And yeah. Duh.
So how do you like Da Vinci?
It has a couple of features lacking that
Yeah.
that Premiere Pro does, but 95% you can, well, you saw the result. It's pretty powerful. You can get plugins, those little whoop circle things to highlight. That's a free plugin. We're learning, but overall, we're not going back to Adobe.
Good.
I like
understand.
how you went from the map and slid right into the actual highway pictures.
Thanks. That's, we've been up on the North Rim several times, and that's one thing that we're going to go back again, and we're going to fix some of the shots. Some of those were taken with an old camera long time ago, and you should be able to pick them out, which ones they were, but we'll just redo them. because the place is so rich. It has so much to offer. It's just endless possibilities for photography and video.
One of our camera club, Brian and Susan, one of our camera club members, Eric Reese, his son is the chief of the park police in the Grand Canyon. And when Marty and I went up year before last, we contacted him before we went in, and he gave us some special passes, and we got into places that normally you can't take your car into. It was very interesting.
Now, when we worked search and rescue, we used to know the chief rescue ranger out there,
Yeah.
and we had that kind of
It
access.
helps.
But yeah, there's not so many people going out there that it's impossible to get a permit.
We saw 3 the whole week.
Yeah, we saw 3 other cars out there basically the entire weekend.
Yeah.
One of which had to show up when we were doing that dawn time lapse, and you should see the shadows yanking around there. Thanks a lot, guys, but what are you going to do?
There's a shorter road.
So you said you were transitioning from Adobe Premiere, or what version of Adobe?
The expensive one.
The expensive one, the subscription one. It's Premiere Pro. It's extremely powerful. It has several other applications that it works with fairly seamlessly. But the cost just began to get ridiculous. I could have bought a Red camera by now for the money we've put into that thing over the years. And enough's enough. And Resolve is free. Well, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Resolve has also got, it's got some really good online resources, both done by Blackmagic Design, who gives away the software, and on YouTube. And one of them I included now in the educational resources page on the website. Guy Jason Yablowski or something like that. He does terrific videos. And if you watch his video and you try to get it to work and it just won't work, type a question in the comments, and within 24 hours, he'll get back to you with an answer. It's amazing, actually. Good stuff.
Wow. Thank you.
Products you replaced.
Anyone else have one to share, or any more questions for anybody?
I have a general question. And it really doesn't have much to do, I don't think, with videos, but about every 3 or 4 minutes, my screen, the audio and the video freeze up. And then a few moments later, I get a message that says your internet connection is unstable. Do I need to call Cox, or is this a Zoom thing?
My guess is going to be Cox. I had a similar problem, and they finally came and put a new cable end on something by the street, and it went away.
Okay, thank
there's
you.
there's a little phone application. I'm going to get the name of it for you right now, that you can put on your cell phone, and you can test it yourself, and it does make a big difference. Before you call them, I'm going to find it for you somewhere. Yeah, well, if I can't find it, I will send it to you. But there is a little application that lets you test the internet connection that's coming into your house and your Wi-Fi.
I had something like that yesterday. It happened twice and it never happened again.
It's called Speed Check Pro, and that's at the Google Play Store. You can probably find it at the iStore phone store also, but it's called Speed Check Pro, and analyzes your connection and lets you know what it's good for.
Thank you.
Sarah, do you know what your download speeds and your upload speeds are that you subscribe to with Cox?
No, I would have to find out.
Okay, it could be that, you've got one of the lower tiers. I think mine is 30 up and no, 30 down and 3 up or 10 up or something like that.
Yeah, I'm at 50 and it happened twice yesterday and I thought it was my computer. Because all of a sudden everything just sort of froze. No matter what I clicked on, it was like frozen.
Mhm.
Then it never happened again.
Ron, when your computer froze, did your fan start to kick on?
I couldn't hear it.
Okay.
No,
I'm on a Mac, so the fan is pretty well hidden. I mean, I don't really hear it when it kicks in.
no, both the Fire Stick and the Roku periodically will get a message like that, and it just puts a little spinning icon on, and then after a little while it goes away. So my guess is still a Cox problem or a Wi-Fi problem.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you.
Oops.
Anyone, is there anything that we want to be looking at for next week? We're bringing up?
Oh man, somebody's got to do something special. I got to have a volunteer to sing and dance. My goodness.
Someone had asked last week about how to get the small pictures in, you know, if you're not live, rather than just having your name. And let's see, where did I see that? Does everybody have a button that says participants at the bottom of their screen? And then under the list of participants, it has a more button.
Right.
And I think, yeah, under the more, you can add a profile picture, and that's what that is.
I just have invite.
No, the more button is in the upper right-hand corner where it says participants list of names, and it's right at the bottom of the list of names.
I didn't see that.
Oh,
When you click participants at the bar at the bottom, for example, on our screen right now, it says participant 17. When I click that on, up in the upper right-hand corner above my chat room is the list of participants. And at the bottom of that list is the more button where it lets you pick up the picture.
my more button is to the right of my name.
Yeah, so is mine.
Okay, that sounds good.
There, yeah, there you go, that profile picture. Yeah, at the very bottom, there's an invite and mute me.
Correct.
But on mine, if I click on the picture, 3 little dots come up. I click on that and I can say mute my audio or stop video. So apparently everybody has a different way.
Well, there's actually not a more thing. If you float your cursor over it, then it comes up. At least on the Mac it does.
Yes, yeah.
And then you have to click on more. And then you can either rename or add your profile picture.
Very good.
Well, I guess then we're all going to spend some time making some videos this week.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Sure,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I
go
have
do.
one.
You have one? Great.
Yep, I got one.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. I have a disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Start off with a disclaimer. I bought a drone in the fall and I was flying it around my neighborhood. So that's what this video is of. But since then, I've been taking classes and learning about it. And video of from drones is supposed to be like 30 seconds or less. And mine is right at 3 minutes. So I forgive you if you get bored with my short video. Okay, let's see if I can share the screen. Where is the video? Okay. Share sound, optimize, share.
Here we go.
Is that working for everybody?
Looking good.
Down and up and down and up and around Laurizio Place.
I'm not hearing the sound.
I turned up the volume on VLC.
That helped.
Reached the end of the street. Maybe it's time to turn around and go back. Now it's time to go up, up, and away.
Okay, that was one of my early drone videos.
That looks like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of fun.
You know, the thing that was really nice about that, Pat, your last shot where you did kind of the circular shot was super smooth and very consistent with the motion. And maybe a suggestion for the, like the other shots where you're flying forward or whatever, is where you would like fly for a bit and then you would kind of turn and then you'd fly and then you turn and all that. Well, if you could just get, let's say 5 seconds or 10 seconds of going forward or whatever direction it is, and then cut out that part where you turn. You know, just that when you do this and then turn, cut that turn part out so we don't see it. And that's, I think, the beauty of the drone is there's smoothness to what, because of the gimbal and the stabilization. So that's why your last shot was so neat, because you were just kind of spiraling and coming around. And maybe work on that just a little bit when you do your editing. I think you'll be in good shape.
Thanks for the suggestion. That last little bit actually is a trick that's in the app that I use. You just click on that little trick and it does it for you. So I can't take any credit for that video.
Yeah, but you see how nice and smooth that is?
Yes.
And you could even, if you're doing your, you know, you're pushing your joystick forward to move, just give it that period of time, like I said, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then just cut out that turn. And as you put your video together, I think you're really going to like it.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
I kept thinking, boy, I hope you don't have any problems or you're gonna have to get a ladder and climb on somebody's house to retrieve your drone.
So far, I've been lucky.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be the first one, Ron.
There is a adage in the drone flying community. It's not a question of if you're going to crash, it's a question of when you're going to crash. And taking it from me, I've lost 3 drones, so it
Oh my
is
goodness.
doable.
When I bought my drone, they had some insurance where within the first year, if I lost a drone, I could replace it twice.
Good God.
So far, I haven't had to exercise that option.
Oh, God.
Probably good. Well, if you're going to crash, do it before the insurance expires.
Indeed, yeah.
Any problems with the neighbors?
Fortunately, at that time, it was in October, mid-October or so, when I shot that video, and a lot of them weren't even there yet. And also, a lot of the times, if you notice, there was a gentleman walking in the last part before I did the spiral up, and he ended up walking down right by us, and he said, "What are you guys doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm flying my drone." He said, "You're flying your drone? Where is it?" I mean, I was up high enough that it was silent enough that he didn't even hear it. Either that or he's one of these senior citizens that has issues.
Oh my God.
But I've got another video that's in RAW that I shot when there was snow on the mountains, and I went up at about 300 feet, and like Kevin was saying, some of his shots were kind of jerky. So I want to go back into that RAW and see if I can't put together just a video of the snow-covered mountains.
I think that could be very nice.
We're going to look forward to seeing that.
Okay, I have to put a rush on that production.
Yeah, I've got 6 of them here waiting for the rush.
I actually need to be signing off. Does anyone have any final things they want to share or discuss?
Nope.
Good next
job.
week.
I want to say thanks for taking it
Next
on,
week.
Jerry.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are